It is time for another home blend blind tasting challenge. Hi, I'm Jeffrey, and this is Life with a Pipe. Thanks for joining me again today. It is time for another home blend blind tasting challenge. Let's reach in here and find out what we're going to smoke today. All right, so covered both sides. I have no idea what's in here. These are blends that were created by Walt over at Carolina Kirk 70. If you haven't been watching his videos, this guy has tastings on blends that most of us would only wish to get our hands on, and a lot of them that are still available, but it's awesome to see what he's been able to collect, and he shares those with us, and he's gotten into home blending. He's really interested in using natural tobaccos to create his own blends, and he's sharing those with me and several others around the YTPC. You've probably seen some tasting notes from Carrie and from Johnny, and if there are others, I'm not aware of them yet, so let me know if you know who they are. But he asked that if he shares these with us, we share our feedback, and I've taken the liberty to make this into another blind tasting challenge because I love challenging my palate, especially with natural tobaccos. There's no toppings in any of these that I'm aware of anyway. I do know that he was trying to play around with some flavorings and that sort of thing. I don't know if any of those are in here or not. So what we're going to do is open this up. We're going to smell it, we're going to pack a bowl, we're going to smoke it, and we're going to see if I can identify what the components of this blend are. So, start by opening it up. These bigger bags are easier to get the nose in than the smaller ones. Now, that one is Dark Fire Kentucky. There have been a few of them thus far that had a DFK in them, and I did not pick up on that at all. Oh, but this is my kind of blend. If this is Latakia, which it might be, but it's sweet. All right, I'm going with Dark Fire until I smoke it. All right, that's initial impressions. Let's put this on a piece of paper here and see what we're looking at. All right. Yeah, I'm going Dark Fire with this one. Let's see if we can get a focus in on that. Oh, I love that smell. So definitely some bright Virginias. All right, I'm excited to smoke this one. This smells pretty amazing. So let's pack the bowl here. All right, here we go. Pipe is packed. Again, smoking the Rossi 8626. Bengal slices lighter. Here we go. All right, Let's tamp this down before it burns the rim here. Another light. All right, it's still coming up, so we're not quite there yet. All right, there we go. Now she's lit. Now that is a nice dark fire blend. In my own personal blending, I love a heavy base of dark fire. Those are some of my favorites. This is kind of reminding me of some of the things that I blended myself. So dark fire for sure. Yellow Virginias. I wouldn't be surprised if there were some reds in here as well. But you know, looking at it, it's probably Yellow Virginia's dark fire. Maybe some filler burley. All right, well, anyway, while I'm smoking on this, I want to share a box opening with you. So Donnie over at Pipes, Tattoos, and Conversations, we all know and love him as the Tattooed Piper, just finished his Paladin Challenge that I had sent him, and he has sent that to Ben Smokes Pipes. Ben Smokes Pipes has not yet done his first video, though that may change by the time this video comes out. Anyway, as that was wrapping up, I offered to send some blending component samples so that he could share that with the next Paladin Challenger, and he thought that was a great idea. So since I was already sending him something, we did some trades. There were a bunch of things from his Paladin Challenge that he really enjoyed that I wasn't too keen on. I took the opportunity of the Paladin Challenge to open a bunch of things in my cellar that I had not yet tried. So as he was experiencing them blind, I was experiencing them for the first time on my side as well. And I wasn't a big fan of the aromatics. The Stormy South by Cop, it was a small batch that they did. That one was actually really good. That was a quality aromatic. The flavor stayed through the entire bowl. But I just don't find myself going for aromatics very often. And since he enjoyed it, I went ahead and sent him the rest of that. But anyway, I got the box that he sent to me. I know some of the things that are in here, and we agreed that we would surprise each other with some other stuff. So let's check it out. Here we go. Donnie always makes fun of me for my packing appreciation. and he's done a great job here. Everything is wrapped. $17.92 flake. I have not tried this. I have not tried many of the Samuel Gawith or Gawith Hogarth blends. I look forward to trying more of them. Huh. $17.92 flake, dark Kendall flake. Are those two descriptors that are used synonymously for this? Because I've heard of dark Kendall flake, but I didn't draw a connection between $17.92 flake. Interesting. I'll have to look into that. $17.92 flake, it says dark Kendall flake here. That rung a bell, and I went and looked it up. Gawith Hogarth has a Kendall flake, and it is nothing like this. I'll put some details here on the side if I haven't already about what those are. And oh, brother, this is wow. This is my first tin of Esoterica. When he offered it, I was flabbergasted that he would honor me with that, and I am super excited about this. I had just had a great experience with an Esoterica blend that is based on Margate, and I can't think of the name of it right off the top of my head. It starts with a P. I'll put it on the screen when I think of it. But that blend is this with a cognac topping, and it is wonderful. Yeah, I'm going to stop trying to remember it because it'll be on the screen over here. But anyway, the blend that I was trying to think of that is associated with the Margate is Pembroke. Pembroke is Margate with the cognac topping to it. Loved that, and I imagine I'm going to love this as well. Thank you, Donnie. Super generous of you, brother. And yes, Sutliff Uno. He says he had a bunch of this and was willing to share it. So this is a Sutliff blend that is no longer around. I'll put a description of what this is over here on the side, but it is a light aromatic from what I can smell here, which is not standard for Sutliff. Some stuck to the nose there. Might be some English components in there. There might be a bit of Latakia. Very light though. If this is aged, that might account for why it's kind of become subdued or subtle. But maybe it's just meant to be a very light English aromatic. We'll all find out together when I put the description over here. Uno, I'm recalling what Donnie had mentioned to me about it at the pipe show that he had gone to. He bought some unpressed Uno. Back when they had originally released it, it was a pressed crumble cake. But at the pipe show, they were selling it loose. And so he had bought some, and he shared a very generous quantity of that with me. It's 8 different blending components in that. It is I don't want to call it a garbage can blend because I'm sure they picked them out for a reason, but there's definitely some Latakia in there, a light note. I had mentioned that it smelled kind of like a light English aromatic, so I'm very curious as to what that's going to be like. I'll do a video on that one of these days, I'm sure. Donnie, thank you so much for those. I'm going to enjoy the heck out of that. But before I do, I'm going to continue enjoying the heck out of this bowl that Walt sent me. Man, I love dark fired blends. All right, I'm going to continue smoking this down. I'll come back, let you know if my thoughts have changed at all, and we'll discuss a little more at that point. All right, we're back. So down to the last third of the bowl here. It's gotten spicier on the retrohale, which is telling me that this has a very decent nicotine content, so medium plus on the nic. So this has led me to think that we have a Virginia burley base. The extra burley is bumping up the nicotine on this, and the dark fire is very nice. The dark fire is not the really barbecue-y American barbecue, like hickory smoke barbecue that I'm used to in my blending. But it is a very nice dark fire. It's just not a type of dark fire that I'm used to. So that's my guess. I'm going to go talk to my wife, and we're going to do the big reveal. I'll be right back. All right. The blend is Carolina Pierside Burley number 3, according to this side. There we go. And my wife looked at the letter, and there are no components listed for this one. So this would have been a forced blind tasting anyway. So Walt, it's on you to let me know how close I was. I don't know if you're keeping this recipe close to the belt at this point and you didn't want to write down the details, which is totally cool if that's the case. But I'm curious. In your comment, let me know how close I was. Nice blend. I was enjoying the coffee with it, but I feel like it needs a little sweetness. So I would definitely probably pair this with a Coke, a Pepsi, one of your favorite colas, even if you wanted to go root beer or something along those lines. That would be a great sweet note with this. If any of you are into South African wines, or you want to experience South African wines, many of them, not all of them, but many of them have a very earthy, like barbecue-y note to them. Very interesting. And a lot of them will have names that kind of hint towards that. But in the wine world, a red wine from South Africa would actually be wonderful with this. And honestly, I'm not a fan of them. I avoid them unless it's the right context. They are not a cocktail wine for me. I wouldn't just open a bottle and drink many of the South African wines that I've had a chance to taste. So, Walt, thank you so much again for a wonderful blending experience. This was nice. Definitely picked up the dark fire in this one that I was missing in the other ones. And Donnie, thank you again for the box. I'm going to leave this here. I'm going to finish this bowl. And I hope you have a great rest of your week. In the meantime, remember, life with a pipe is better than without. Bye for now.